Hello, everybody, and welcome to our seventh week in this ClickBACON training series. My name is Ryan Gronfin with the Restaurant Boss and with ClickBACON, and I'm really excited about what we're going to cover today. It's going to be quick. Um, there's not a whole lot to it, but there's a lot of subtlety in what we're going over today, which are some of my favorite system builders, checklists, recipes, build sheets, and job descriptions. These have been in ClickBACON since day one because this is really where my consulting business has thrived the most, is on helping restaurant operators create easy to follow, easy to use systems, processes, and procedures. And so we're going to jump right into the app here, and I'm going to show you how all of this works in ClickBACON. And I'm also going to share with you kind of some of my philosophies when it comes to checklists and systems and processes. I just want to get a quick confirmation that I'm sharing the correct screen again. Are we good?
All set.
Okay, great. So we're sharing the correct screen. So before I jump in, you'll notice that the systems are here under the Sheets tab. And before I go through these one at a time, I have an expression that we manage systems and we develop people. My philosophy is that people are very difficult to manage. Think about yourself, for example. I know I'm very difficult to manage, and I know I don't love when I'm being managed, but I love being developed. I love when a coach says, no, don't do that, do this. I love when a coach says, I've tried that 13 different times, and here's my favorite method. This is what I would do. That's development. That's not management. I always struggled with being managed, and I always struggled to manage people, which is why when I embarked on my consulting journey, I did an enormous amount of research on this topic, and I developed this idea that we don't manage people, we manage systems. Systems don't have emotion. Systems are black and white. We develop people. And so you'll also hear me say systems create freedom, freedom creates value, value creates scale. It all starts with systems, which is why I couldn't build a financial dashboard. I couldn't build a restaurant operations tool without including some access to very simple, easy to use system builders. The last thing I'll say on this is me personally, I am not a huge fan on digital systems. The systems builders that we have in here are built off of paper. And I know that you might say in today's day and age, why are we still using paper? And I will tell you my belief. Paper is so easy. It's just so easy to have a checklist on a clipboard. When you come into work in the morning, you can pick up a clipboard, you can look at your cook's checklist, and you could just instantly see where they're at. Are they behind? Are they in the weeds? Are they ahead? Are they not filling anything out? Do they not even have the checklist on their station? I understand that we're killing a couple of trees in this process, but trust me, the amount of money you're going to make by using these simple, easy to use systems will kill a lot more trees than the paper that we're printing these checklists on. So there are a couple of times that I like digital checklists, but for 99% of what we're doing, I love paper. It's easy, it's fast, it's simple. The challenge we've always had with paper is people aren't very good at Excel. They're not great at building this stuff. So what I've gone ahead and done, we've built in a build sheet, checklists, recipes, and job descriptions. Let's start with job descriptions because I think this is the simplest. I've gone ahead and we put into your brand new account, we have, I think, 12. Yep, we've put 12 job descriptions in here. By no means are these your job descriptions. These are generic, really good quality job descriptions that you can use as inspiration. Copy them, edit them, delete them, do whatever you want with them. But what we love about this is how simple it is to drag and drop if you want to move things around. We've divided this into a couple of sections, right? So who's the job or what's the job title? Who do they report to? What category is it? A summary of the position, duties, responsibilities, qualifications, skills, and requirements. And you could, again, can easily edit, add, drag, and drop. And then they all look great. They all look super professional. So this is what the job descriptions are going to look like if you export them and print them out. And then my favorite part about this, this one got cut off a little bit. We'll go back and fix that. But my favorite part about this is the signatures at the bottom. This is basically saying that you have shared the job description with the team member. They have signed and agreed to it, and then this goes in their file. So definitely take a look at the job descriptions that we go ahead and provide for you. The next thing we're going to look at is, let's look at checklists. Checklists are my absolute favorite. They're probably the most in-depth part of our systems, but the checklists I absolutely love. Now, I want you to think of checklists as more than checklists. The bucket that we put checklists in is basically anything that is formatted like this. And I'll show you this right now. Anything that's formatted like this, but this could be a checklist. This could be a prep sheet. This could be an order guide. This could be a maintenance checklist, like a maintenance reminder. This can be any number of things, but it always shows up in the same format. Items on the left, date across the top. Now, there is an option that you can change from what we call weekly. Weekly shows the 7 days of the week. So weekly is really daily. We have monthly, which is really weekly, and then we have yearly, which is really monthly. And I'll show you that now. Like if we click on weekly and then preview this, you'll see that it shows you the week that we're in plus 6 more weeks. And then if we go to monthly and we preview it, it will show you your January through December. So certain things are done weekly, like cleaning responsibilities might be done once a week and you don't care what day. Maybe you do certain maintenance, like blowing out a compressor or cleaning the walk-in, you do monthly. So then you could have a deep cleaning checklist built like this, and it hangs on the wall. And then you just make sure that at some point in January, every one of these items are checked off, some point in February, right? So you're getting the idea of a checklist. What I want to do now is I want to just quickly show you some of these different options and how to build them. So let's start with what I would consider to be like a traditional checklist. Let's say maybe the AM pantry opening checklist, right? So here we've got a lot of different items checked. We've got the date, the unit, the par level. You can do a low, high par level. Which I find this a little more detailed than most people need, but the option is there. So this could basically say like, if we're lower than this, make it, but if we're higher than this, don't. I find that most people just prefer to put a par. And so again, you could say, you could build these first by location. So there's an expression when we're building checklists. I'm going to try not to stutter my words so no one thinks I'm swearing here, even though it wouldn't be rare for me to swear. We do what we call shelf to sheet. That's SHEET, shelf to sheet checklist, which means build the checklist in the order you walk around the restaurant. What I see a lot of times is people will do a order guide, let's say, for Cisco, but they don't organize it by their restaurant. They organize it by alphabetical order, or they organize it by like protein. Well, you may store some proteins here and some proteins there and some proteins in the freezer and some proteins in the refrigerator. And then you're going in and out of walk-ins and you're walking around your restaurant in 100 different directions. What I prefer to do is to build your checklist by location. So maybe dry storage, all the items you order from Cisco in dry storage, that would be location 1. Maybe another location is refrigerator 1 or walk-in 1 or refrigerator 2 or freezer 1 or whatever you want to call it. So then you go from one location to another location to another location, and you're not running around in circles. And so it's very simple. You can just add as many locations as you want, and then within each location, you can add any item you want. So here's a great example, right? This is the pantry checklist. So the AM pantry person comes in the morning, they go to their sandwich table and they check to see, do they have avocado puree, arugula spread, balsamic onions, blue cheese, apple butter, right? These are just examples from a restaurant that I used to own and operate. And then that would be it. And again, you can see the preview. Or let me just show you the preview again of this. This is what it would look like when you print it out. Now, there's a couple of little cool tricks that I want to share with you, though. One, you could split the cell. So this would be great if you have the same station for AM and PM. So now Monday is split in half, Tuesday is split in half. So your AM crew comes in, confirms they have everything on their station. Then when your PM crew comes in, they confirm they have everything on their station. So that's a cool little thing that I don't think people use as much as they should. The second thing I want to show you here is blackout days. Let's say you're closed on Monday. Okay, cool. Block it off. Tuesday through Sunday. I'm going to give you a better, let's say maybe you have a prep list, and on every, let's just say that you make avocado puree every Monday and every Thursday regardless. So then you can block out the individual days. So then if this were a prep list, they would know we make avocado puree on Monday, we make avocado puree on Thursday. And again, just for fun, I'm going to do this. I'm actually going to show you a different one, but now you'll see what it looks like when you print it out. Maybe this is an order guide and you order on Mondays and Thursdays, so you can block out the other days. Now, we purposely did this in a light gray so you could write on top of it if you had to, but it's just a really easy way to know, oh, today's Thursday, I'm supposed to do this. Makes it very simple. I'm going to show you another great example of using blackout days. I think I have a weekly cleaning somewhere here. I saw it earlier. There it is, the weekly cleaning list. This is a list. This is the exact list that we used in my restaurant that was built on ClickBACON. And this is what we did. On Mondays, we did the walk-in fridge and freezer and the front floors. On Tuesdays, we did the fryer and the storage shelves. On Wednesdays, we did the back floor and the stoves. Thursdays, we did the lower ovens and the double ovens. Fridays and Saturdays were busy days, so we did no deep cleaning. But on Sunday, we did the smoker, the grill, and the hoods. And we ran this checklist, and it was so easy for the dishwasher to just know, oh, it's Monday. This is what I do. Even if that dishwasher is sometimes off on Monday, but maybe he's covering for someone else on a Monday. It makes it so easy. He doesn't have to memorize anything. He just comes in, he grabs his checklist or her checklist, and he looks at it and it tells them what to do. So when you guys hear me talk about systems, this is the core of what I'm talking about with systems. Order guides, prep lists, checklists. I'm not going to get into too much of the difference of what those are. I'm happy to another time. But today I want to show you how to use the software. The last thing I want to show you here is group. We can go ahead and we can create, let's call it a Monday group. And so then I can add certain items to the Monday group. And let's go ahead, just for fun, let's add this to the Monday group also. And then let me save this. And now let's say that you got 8 or 9 checklists that you print every Monday. Well, now instead of having to go to each one, you can just go to your Monday group. You can select all, and you can download these into, I'm not going to do it, but this will download into a PDF, and then you could print out all of your weekly checklists at once. If you have a monthly group, you could have a quarterly group, you could have a yearly group, however you choose to group it. But that's what I did. I had a weekly group, a monthly group, and a yearly group. So once a year, I just checked my checklists that were yearly, printed them out. Once a month, I did my monthly, printed them out. Every Friday, I would print out the checklist for the next Monday so they were there and ready to go. So again, I think because I built this as an operator, you will find this very easy to use and to adapt to the situations in your restaurant. I also hope that you'll agree that paper is awesome, because that's what I believe in. The last thing I want to show you on checklists before we go on to recipe builders and build sheets is the ability to share if you're a multi-unit. So let's say like we have a client that's on here that has 22 locations. Some of their checklists are built by the corporate team, and they want all the locations to have the exact same checklist. So let's just say, let's check this box right here. You'll see that you have the copy option, a move option, and a share option. Copy is just literally going to make a copy of it. You can choose what location you want to copy that to, like if you have multiple locations, or you can copy it into the same location. Let's say you're just making a couple of edits, you want to make a copy of it. But a lot of times what happens is you're opening up a new restaurant, you maybe want to copy all your checklists to that new restaurant. So you just check them off, hit the copy button. Or maybe you built a checklist in this restaurant, but you want to move it to another restaurant, you can click on move. Share is my favorite option. Share is There's one version of the checklist, and that version is shared between all locations. So if the corporate team builds an opening procedure and they want all 22 restaurants to use the same opening procedure, if they copy it to all 22 restaurants, then they have to go into all 22 restaurants and make a change. But if they share it, they will have access as the administrator to make a change in one of the locations, and that change will update to all 22 locations. So, for example, whenever they change their menu, they put out a new order guide. Their order guide is shared between all locations. So the corporate chef is the only one that has access to that sheet. The corporate chef changes the order guide, and then it updates in all of the restaurants. And so these, again, are some really great features that I think are underutilized that I hope you will take advantage of as you build out your systems. Now, very quickly, let me show you the recipe builder and the build sheet. So with a recipe builder, I always say recipes don't have pictures, build sheets do. You don't need a picture of Caesar dressing, but you do need a picture of a Caesar salad. So when people say, what's the difference between a recipe and a build sheet? They're very different, but recipes don't have pictures. Here's an example. Again, super easy to build. What is it? What category does it go to? What's the yield? What's the yield unit? How many portions does it make? You don't have to use all those fields, but they're there if you want them. What are the ingredients? What are your directions? You don't have to have any formatting skills. You don't have to be good at Word. You don't have to be good at Excel, and you're going to get absolutely beautifully branded recipes to put in your book. I will also show you later that you can change, right? This one says sample location, but it'll have your restaurant name on it. It'll have your email address on it or whatever you want to put here. And the most important part of it'll have obviously your restaurant name at the top. The most important thing, and it'll have your logo, sorry, not our logo. The most important thing to me is when I hire a new team member, I want to show them day one that we're organized. I want to show them day one that we have recipes and systems and processes and procedures, and they're not chicken scratch. When you open up a recipe book and hand it to a new cook and it's got post-it notes and crosses out and folded corners and coffee stains and oil stains on it, you're basically saying to your cook, forgive my language, but we don't care. I was about to say something worse. We don't care about our recipes, is what you're saying. So why should they? But when you hand them something with your name, your logo, your information, it's beautifully presented, they're going to level up their game and go, man, this owner cares. I need to care also. The best example I have for this is a new car. When you get a brand new car, your feet are clean, your shoes are clean, there's no McDonald's being eaten in the car. You're not going to any dirt road parking lots or concerts. But when your car's 20 years old, like my car used to be before someone hit me and totaled my car, it was like, Cooper, eat whatever you want. I don't care. Spill your yogurt in the car. Drop French fries. When we're going to baseball games that have dirt parking lots, we're taking my car because it's 25 years old and who cares? But we don't want that in your restaurant. We want everything to be treated like it's brand new. So again, super simple. The last thing are the build sheets. And I just did an example here for you of a burger. Here's what I say about build sheets. You hire a new cook who knows how to cook, but doesn't know how to cook your food. I know how to make a hamburger, but I don't know how to make your hamburger. So when you hire me, sure, you can go through all this training, or you can just have a build sheet hanging in your restaurant on the cook line or in a book that shows me that this is your burger. So now I know what it's supposed to look like, what plate it's served on, right? It comes on an oval plate with a fry cup. The servers know the description. The ingredient list is right here so people know if there's an allergy or something. But again, remember, these are not recipes. This is a build sheet. My prep directions, my service standards, potential allergies. This is a great training tool for your kitchen, for your expos, for your servers. Also, how many times have we ever come across a situation where someone says, hey, there should be a pickle on that. And they go, oh, no, we don't put pickles on that. No, we do. We put a pickle spear on it. Well, when did that change? I didn't know that. No one knew that. And now your expo and your cook are arguing with each other. Well, just open up the book and look at it and go, look, it has a pickle spear. It's that simple. And so again, these are very easy to build. You can simply upload a photo that you take, right, by clicking on that. You can edit the photo. You can, so you don't have to be a photographer. You can move things around. You can zoom in. You can zoom out. You can rotate. So we're trying to make this as easy as possible for people who are not graphic designers, but we want you to create corporate franchise quality systems, processes, and procedures. And this is all included in ClickBACON for you at no additional charge. And so again, I think the rest of this is going to be pretty obvious for you on how to do it. You just drag and drop anything. You can delete anything. You can type in the box and edit it. You can download, you can view, you can save. But the last thing I want to say on systems here is what I've already talked about is the preparation and the presentation of these are what's going to be most important. And again, with ClickBACON, you'll be able to build yourself really beautiful, really well presented, really great quality checklists. I did just remember I was supposed to show you if you go to your company profiles and your location profiles, you'll be able to update your pictures. So like in this case, because we don't have a picture, that's why the checklist had a restaurant boss picture on it. But if you have your picture and your name, your website, your copyright information, if you want, then this will all show up on your checklist. So that way we know that they are branded to your location.